I was planning to make a video about my favorite FC25 mods, but honestly, the more I played this game, the more frustrated I got. Every match feels like a group of dudes slipping and sliding on ice, and by the end, I'm not just tired, I'm drained in a bad way. It's not fun fighting the game itself. The controls, the so-called physics, it's like the game is working against me. And yeah, Ant's gameplay mod helps a bit, but even with that, FC25 just doesn't feel like immersive football, even on manual settings. After every match, I catch myself thinking, why am I even playing this? Before just quitting and switching to modded Pro Evo 21 with manual controls. That game feels like actual football, something FC25 just can't seem to pull off. So today, instead of talking about mods, we are tackling something far more important, the 3 biggest immersion breakers in FC25. Because while the game has its moments and cool features, it falls short where it matters the most. The gameplay immersion. I would like to also know how you feel about playing this game. Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear your take. Alright, now let's get into it. The first thing that completely breaks immersion in FC25 is the way movement works. There are 2 major issues here, how the players' feet interact with the ground and the constant ridiculous jiggling left and right. Let's start with turning and twisting first. Players in FC25 have this bizarre ability to jiggle endlessly without any real consequences. It's simply mind-boggling. Whether you're playing with a gameplay mod, simulation settings, or just on default sliders, it doesn't make much difference when it comes to movement immersion. Players can turn on a dime over and over and it looks absurd, especially during an attack. This becomes even more frustrating when the computer is on the offense. Just look at this footage. The AI dribbler keeps jiggling left and right, trying to bait me into committing to a direction. It's simply atrocious. My brain expects players to behave like they would in real life. When someone moves in one direction, there is an expectation that momentum and inertia exist. But here, the AI can fake a commitment, pull a 180-degree turn with 0 inertia and just rush off in the opposite direction. Or worse, they will twist and jiggle their bodies 5 times in quick succession like they're having a seizure. What makes this even worse is how your own defenders respond. If I so much as move slightly in the wrong direction and try to tackle, my player slides like they're on freaking ice. They overcommit, lose their position, and leave a gaping hole in the defense. It feels completely unbalanced, like the attackers and defenders are playing under different laws of physics. And this is why the immersion is shattered when it comes to movement. Football isn't about players twisting and jiggling their way past defenders while ignoring basic physics. Yes, you do want to unbalance your opponent in real football, but you do it with clever moves, not by spamming awkward, unnatural spins and twists. And then there are the feet. Not only do they barely seem connected to the ground, but they're also in constant, hyperactive motion. Now, I get it. Real footballers make plenty of tiny steps to adjust their position. That's just part of the sport, right? But in FC25, these steps feel completely broken. They don't add anything to the realism, nor do they make body balance feel authentic. Instead, they just look ridiculous in the process. Honestly, I'd rather the game skip these awkward little steps entirely and focus on proper foot planting. At least then, players wouldn't feel like they're about to fall over or slide across a slippery floor. You can say what you want about the infamous broomstick up the butt animations in Pro Evolution Soccer 21, but when it comes to lower body movement, Pro Evo 21 absolutely outclasses FC25. If only we could combine the strengths of both games, the upper body motion from FIFA titles and lower body mechanics from PES 21. That would make for some truly realistic, satisfying running animations on field. But As it currently stands, FC25 movement, mechanics and animations are a total immersion killer. Keeping your player upright feels like an exhausting chore. After every match, I am more drained from trying not to slide out of position on defense than from anything that feels like actual football. And that's not the kind of fatigue that you want in a football game, right? It's not fun, and it leaves me feeling like I'm battling the controls instead of improving as a player. Now let's talk about the second reason why immersion in FC25 is so damn hard to come by: the computer AI. Or more accurately, we will focus on the A part since I is missing. When you start playing, it quickly becomes clear that the computer-controlled defenders on your team are utterly useless. Defending in this game feels like going 1-on-11 against the entire opposing team. Sure, your defenders will shuffle around and try to hold the line a little bit, but that's about it. They won't make tackles, they won't intercept passes, they won't do anything remotely helpful unless you take direct action and handle it yourself. Think I'm exaggerating? Let's test it out. Watch this clip of my defense when I let the AI handle it.
Lewandowski now. Oh, could be an opportunity here. He takes on the shot.
See what I mean? My players barely put any pressure on the attackers, let alone attempt a tackle or intercept a pass. They are just standing there, acting as slightly mobile traffic cones, and unless I intervene, the opponent will almost always get a cross or a shot on goal. But here's the funny thing, let's see what happens when I switch sides and let the computer control my team entirely.
They'll keep working away, looking for an opening. Took a really smart piece of defending.
Oh, would you look at that? Suddenly, my team knows how to tackle. So it turns out the AI for my teammates is deliberately dumped down when I'm in control to make the game harder. Does it add difficulty? Yeah, sure it does. But is it the kind of challenge that feels rewarding? No, not at all. Well, at least not for me. It's an annoying trend in football games to create artificial difficulty without adding to the feeling of realism on the pitch, and I wish we could move away from this. What I, and probably many others, want is a challenge that feels worth solving. Give us smarter AI patterns on the attack, something that forces us to use proper tactics and react smartly on defense. This way, the game would make us cooperate with our teammates. Instead, FC25 makes our teammates feel like clueless bots and expects us to micromanage the entire team. The first major reason why immersion in FC25 takes a nosedive is how attacking feels in this game. It's a multifaceted issue, but the main culprit here is passing. For lack of a better word, passing just feels, well, it feels off. And this doesn't change whether you're playing on assisted, semi or full manual settings. Even on full manual, there's something strange about ground passes. They feel as if they are still slightly assisted, which is quite bizarre. Either that or the input reading is wildly inconsistent. You would expect manual settings to give you complete control, but instead it feels like the game is trying to meddle in ways it really shouldn't. Then there are short passes, which often feel like you're playing a game of pinball rather than football. The ball zips around in a way that's just too fast and too erratic to feel realistic. Don't even get me started on long balls. Whether it's a cross or a lob-through ball, they are just way too floaty. Ball physics here are odd, to say the least. There's this strange spongy quality to the ball, as if it's made out of paper, or like gravity has been turned down. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what's wrong, but playing lofted passes feels unnatural and frankly unsatisfying. And that's a real shame, because good long balls are a cornerstone of any solid attacking strategy in football games. And when you combine all these issues, the attacking gameplay ends up feeling anything but immersive. Instead of feeling like a fluid, tactical sport, attacking in FC25 feels chaotic, frustrating, and deeply unsatisfying. So, those are the 3 main reasons why I find it hard to suspend my disbelief and immerse myself in FC25. First, the movement is unrealistic. Players' feet don't connect with the ground, and their motion is full of chaotic twists and turns. Second, the AI is downright terrible, especially on defense, forcing you to micromanage your entire team. And finally, passing feels off and unsatisfying, with strange ball physics and inconsistent controls. See, when I play heavily modded Pro Evolution Soccer 21, my wife often mistakes it for a real football match on TV. But FC25? Not a chance, even with its shiny newer graphics. And that's the real pity. The game does have a strong visual and audio presentation that could have been a great foundation for immersion. Unfortunately, the gameplay itself falls short, and that's the one area where immersion truly matters the most. I'll be making more football gaming videos covering FC25, eFootball, Pro Evo 21, UFL and beyond. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, that's all from me in this video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.